I want to move on to the next question because it's a good one. How much therapy is too much?
Oh, such a good question. And with so much with ABA, I feel like the answer is it's so individualized. But I can speak a little bit to, what your different scenarios might be. So, as I'm sure you talk about a lot on your show, Shannon, like early and intensive intervention is definitely like your best case scenario, right? So if you have a kiddo who is young and has autism, then you are looking for optimally a full-time comprehensive program, which can be up to 40 hours a week. You really want to make sure that when your kid is little and they're primed for learning and they're in that period where they're just soaking everything in, that you're giving them as much treatment as you can, and you're really trying to create an environment during as many of their waking hours as possible that is just optimized for creating learning opportunities. With that said, I'm sure that families listening have lots of different aged kids. So even if your child is not young, you don't have to worry that you've missed a window. ABA works at any time in a person's life. So what you really want to do is make sure that you get with a BCBA or a professional in this field who can give you an individualized recommendation for your child that takes into account their current skill level, if it's appropriate for them to be in school, if they're in a good school environment, if they're even able to maybe have some kind of school shadow. That kind of varies depending on, where you are in the country or in the world. But generally what we try to do is start with more therapy, create foundational change that we need for the child, and then as they are making progress, we start to fade out and titrate and transition to reduce therapy hours. But you definitely don't want to sell yourself short in the beginning.
Yeah, I so appreciate everything that you just said. The words that popped out of me about intensive, early intensive, and then that whole thing about every waking hour being an educationally enriched environment. What I find when people are asking the question, how much therapy is too much? It's like it's a really good question, but for me, it like begs that there's a different question, and the different question is how can we make having all of their waking hours be fun and exciting while being educational? Because that's the piece, like, you want your child to get their full prescription of whatever the BCBA said they wanted, but I think it's up to us as parents to learn everything we can from these amazing people like Aimee and her team so that we can be doing it in the hours that they're not there. But the key is it's got to be fun. It's got to be so exciting. And yes, I'm a former teacher, so I was already sort of keyed into that, but our team was so good at helping me to understand that if we were working on, like, I remember when we were working on colors and sort of like Sesame Street, how Sesame Street has, well, the color of the day is yellow, right? And then throughout the show, there's all these things where they're reinforcing yellow and talking about yellow from all these different aspects, right? And so our team would say to us, okay, this week we're working on green. And, mom, anytime you're in the car with him, anytime you're eating, anytime you're at the playground, anywhere, like find ways that you can be looking at green. So if we were in line at the grocery store, we would play I Spy. And then it would always be green things, and we'd be trying to look for it. When we were just driving, we would come up to a light, and I would say, "What color is it? Is it red or is it green?" And he would go, "Green," from the back seat, right? So but it's got to be exciting, you guys. Too often, I think when people say, "Well, how much therapy is too much?" that maybe we're not getting it exciting enough and fun enough. So my 2 cents on that. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.